Hello, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another 3D Hangout. You got myself, Noe Pedro Ruiz. I'm a designer here at Adafruit, and joining me every week is my brother Pedro.
What's up everybody? I'm Pedro Ruiz, creative tech here at Adafruit, and every week we come to share 3D printed projects featuring electronics from Adafruit.
This is the show where we combine 3D printing and DIY electronics to make inspirational projects for you folks. So let's get started this week. Get the discount code.
10% off during checkout. Use discount code RING.
Why is it ring?
Our cool NFC RFID 3D printed ring project.
All right, that's this week's project. We're not allowed to call it an NFC smart ring like we'd like, but that's fine. We can call it something else. What it is. Pedro, tell the folks what they can get if they spend $200 or more.
You get free shipping when you enter in discount code RING.
Cool. So that's the deal. If you go to adafruit.com/free, you can get all the details. We did have a couple of freebies, but you guys bought them all up. So that's all we have left is the UPS truck. You don't get the UPS truck, but you do get free shipping if you spend $200 or more. Swing it back right over to the coupon code RING. It's a simple one this week, guys, and that's the project.
Go ahead, take advantage. And of course, if you're a makerspace or an educator, you get a discount as well.
That's right. Let me go to that. So if you go to adafruit.com/educators, Adabot will give you all the details. Is that right?
That's right. A lot of makerspaces do a lot of workshops using Adafruit components, and you can keep all the lights on while you're teaching classes using Adafruit components. So definitely
literally keep the lights on with the NeoPixels.
Yeah, so definitely call in, check that out.
Okay, again, adafruit.com/educators, so you get discounts over there.
Spread the lovely gospel of electronics to all the youngsters out there.
Please do, please do. Okay, I'm going to start off with the segment, What Are You Prototyping? This is where we just talk a little bit about what we're working on. Let's do the rings first. Let's show those off. So these are this is this week's project. We have a new micro NFC RFID tag. It's the NTG203 chip, so it's incredibly tiny. This is it right here.
So
product ID. What's the product ID?
This is
2800.
2800. So check that out. Very popular, tiny little ring that you can embed into almost anything. Maybe like make a nail embed, or like in our case, we embedded it inside of a 3D printed ring.
That's right. So we actually carry a few rings now in the Adafruit shop. They're already made, but Lamar was thinking, hey, can you guys 3D print one, make it custom size, just to show folks that they can make their own? And Pedro, how much did this cost in material?
This is not even $1 of material.
A couple cents of materials, folks, especially for the FDM one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, those are even cheaper. So we decided we'd make two different versions. We'd make a very intricate, detailed version using a resin-based DLP SLA printer from Autodesk, the Ember. So we thought we'd fire that up and try this out. So tell me a little bit about your design here, Pedro.
Yes, so of course we're using Fusion 360 to make a completely parametric design. So you can edit the ring size to this. You can edit the shoulders. You can edit the shank, which is this little part right here. Of course, the head and the bridge.
Yeah, so the bridge is that little part there, and you made an insert so you could slip in that. Originally, Lamar was thinking that we could embed it, and then it would print on top and close it, but you could do that if you didn't want to be able to take it out, but we wanted to be able to take it in and out, and that's why we added the slit. Now, what about support material? How did that happen?
So for the SLA DLP printing, you don't actually need any support, since on the bed, it's stuck onto this little part right here, and that all the little parts on the edge over here are able to act as scaffolding for that.
That's for the DLP one?
The DLP one. The FDM one, unfortunately, needs support material right in the middle here, so it's not a big deal. It's easy to take off. Just use some custom supports in here using something like Simplify 3D or something like that.
I would challenge folks to put an U shield if they have Simplify 3D and do no supports. Maybe that bridging, it might work. We hadn't tried out.
Yeah, I mean, I think this part right here, though, is going to sag.
Okay, so this makes it as no sag. So, okay.
Absolutely, yeah. And it comes out very well. We're using, I think, a 2mm fillet on this, so it's super smooth when it comes out. And we're using our purple PLA that we have, transparent PLA that we have in the shop, and gives it a nice candy-coated look to that. Of course, you can try doing the Verneuil pattern on an FDM printer. We did this on the Ultimaker 2 Plus, and it comes out pretty good.
Show it closer?
Of course, it's not comparable to...
Yeah, just to show folks,
resin,
like, here's what you get. I'm going to do a little manual focus here.
And of course, you can edit all of these Vernoy shapes to your liking as well. But you can definitely see we're using 25 microns on this guy here and 50 microns on that guy.
I'm doing the wrong one. Sorry. There we go. A little bit of a work around. Closer. There you go. Look at that.
You can definitely
look at the Ember. It's incredible. There's no build lines here.
Yeah, so obviously the Ember 3D printer is targeted towards jewelers. So of course you're going to be able to get a lot more finer detail on this.
Yep.
We're going to be testing out some new material on the Ember printer so we can get different colors in here. Couldn't get it in time for that. We're also going to be testing out the brand new, they call it investment casting. So we can do some, I think it's like wax or something like that to make metal stuff. Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to try to cast metal.
It's going to be pretty cool for that.
Soon.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So very awesome. Of course, here's what the quality looks like on the non-Vernoy shapes.
Okay.
Very fancy.
So for this project, we're using a really, really simple way to trigger some different things. So we have an Android tablet here. This is the Nexus 7 tablet, and we're using NFC Tools, which is a free app or kind of like a free demo app.
Yeah.
So here's a couple things. So you can read and write data.
Yeah.
Tell me about the app then while I do that.
So you're able to read, write information onto the RFID. So one of the cool things you can do with this is use it like a business card, store all of your contact info on there. You can have it trigger actions.
There's the contact info stuff that you can do there. You can trigger like a phone number, a location, an address, some Bitcoin stuff, add a Bitcoin address, add a Bluetooth connection. I'm not sure how that one works, but besides that, you can add some other cool things like tasks. So what are tasks? You can do a phone call, you can do a route, you can do route access stuff, launch an app, configure stuff, display settings. There's a lot of different things you can do with it. So if you got an Android device and it has NFC capabilities in it, definitely check this out because you really don't need much to get started. You just need the tag and a device and an app. So this app is free.
Yeah.
So
if you Google creative uses for NFC tags, there's a lot of cool things you can do, especially with these only costing like $2. You can embed this around a lot of places in your environment. So one of the creative uses is like if you put this like on your laptop and you put your phone next to it, it can automatically trigger your phone to become a Wi-Fi spot or a hotspot. So your laptop can have automatic connection to that. Or if you put it in your bag and you put your phone away, it'll like turn off the radio signal, so you're not like wasting battery having the phone like roam or anything like that. Like if you're like in a subway going through like a tunnel or something like that, it's not sitting there, blasting power trying to get a signal.
So on this Nexus 7, we found that the best spot for it is this little N here. So could you use your ring because this has nothing in it?
Oh yeah, so right between the N and the E, actually.
And here's another caveat: is that it has to be on the device, the Android device, and you have to be outside of the NFC app because otherwise it thinks you're trying to write to it.
So the task that we have in here is just loaded to open up the Adafruit Learning System, the YouTube video on that. So pretty cool little use of that. If you're like at a convention or something like that, say, oh yeah, here's what I do. You can just have it quickly open up the YouTube video for that. So
quickly, cool. Dependent on if you could get the spot. There it is.
Yeah, it's a little trial and error of
where the spot is.
But yeah, it's pretty cool. You can have it trigger other actions. Like I was saying before, you could have one like by your bedside. So when you place your phone next the RFID tag, so once you place it near there, you could have it like turn on an alarm or something like that. So there's a lot of creative uses that you could do, embedding these all over your environment specific to what area you put it in. So a pretty cool little project. Get 10% off on the filament printer, of course, the RFID tags, NFC tags. Use discount code RING.
Yeah, if they're out of stock right now, go ahead and sign up for it so you can get notified when we get more of them.
That goes with any product,
sold out.
Yeah.
They always sell out. And pick up more because they're inexpensive enough to like get a bunch and use them as you'd like.
Super cool.
Okay, so I hope you guys are inspired to make your own crazy 3D printed embedded projects. Doesn't have to be 3D printing, it could be any other thing. You can slap it on the back of your phone or something.
Definitely Google search creative uses for NFC tags.
All right.
Cool little things on that.
Cool. Other things with prototyping. So over the last week I showed you guys Phil B's project, one of his latest projects right now on the Adafruit learning system is this 3D printed mini USB rechargeable Fume extractor. So I got the fan from DigiKey over the weekend, and here it is. It turns on. Can you hear it? You can hear it. This thing is awesome. I really, really recommend if you guys are doing soldering. I'm going to use this for like every soldering job now. So you don't have to have like this massive Fume extractor. You just have it with you, point it to where you're soldering, and yeah, I got a little sheet. I think it's like a 5x5 sheet of carbon filter, and I just cut it up and put it in there, and it was super easy to put together and wire. So really like this. So as a test, I thought I would revisit an old classic project. Do you guys remember this one? This is one of our first projects. This is a not 3D printed actually. This is our $5 NES controller that we have in the Adafruit shop, and we pretty much just gutted the thing and put an Easy Key Bluefruit module in there so that we can make this Bluetooth. Yeah, and we exposed the some of the traces and just wired free wired to it. And when I wanted to play this over the weekend, I was like, this is fun. Oh no, it's paired to an old computer that's in the closet now. So I took it apart and I had to get the button and repair it. And then I noticed like all the wiring is using wire wrap, which is like kind of brittle, and if you flex a little bit, you're gonna break it. And so I figured I'd redo it, and it was a perfect opportunity to reuse this guy. So I used this while I was soldering. I think he did an Instagram of it too. Yeah. So this is a really awesome project, guys.
Surprising range for how far away it was, and it was able to suck up all of the solder smoke.
And it took a good hour, so it was able to last throughout the whole thing. I was like soldering while listening to the desk of Lady Ada, and it was awesome. So pretty cool project. The only 3D printed thing that we did is this little holster for the USB charger. So that's how this works. If you guys haven't seen this project yet, check it out. I'll have it linked below. But yeah, I love the buttons on this thing, and it works really well. So 2 projects over the weekend. Just did it for fun. I played like 10 minutes of gaming because like, I don't play many games, but because I just love making stuff so much. So it was a really fun thing to just sort of rework. It's fun revisiting an old project and make it a little bit better. So. Also, I recommend 30 gauge silicone coated wires. So if you want to pick up Power Boost or the $5 NES controller, and you want to do some Bluetooth stuff, get the Easy Bluetooth module. It's I think $20. So really fun project. And Fume extractor, definitely awesome. Thank you, Phil B, for making that one. That's a really cool project.
Yeah, definitely check out the guide on the Adafruit learning system. Check out all the goodness in that. Super fun project to build.
Okay, more prototyping stuff, or do you want to jump into layer by layer real quick?
This is just real quick on the hemp filament that we're
That's shop
testing
talk?
out.
You want to do shop talk?
Sorry, yeah.
All right. Well, let me just talk about layer by layer real quick. So I'm starting to do layer by layers as a live stream, and I did it last week on a Friday, and I started the Raspberry Pi Zero Game Girl Zero or Micro project. Coming. Yeah. So I just modeled the Adafruit Pi TFT 2.2-inch screen, which is like the main component. It's the display for the project. So if you haven't seen that, please go ahead and check it out and let me know what you thought of it. And then this week I will work on doing the power boost and modeling the Pi Zero. So yeah, so be sure to check that out. It'll be later this week. I'm thinking on a Friday or Saturday. I think that's a good time for me to do those. So that's how we're going to start doing those.
On Saturday, it's going to be called a Catterday.
Yeah, why not? Catterday. That's appropriate. All right, well, let's do the shop talk. Pedro, you have some stuff. You got a lot of stuff here, actually, for shop talk.
Yeah, you can queue up the next things right after this. Continuation of the hemp filament. It's PLA-based mixture with the hemp. Both of these are actually hemp. So one of the things we wanted to test was the color change variation when we're using a higher temperature. So this one was printed at 230 degrees. This one was printed at 220 degrees. On the Printabot Play, and we used the M3D on this guy over here.
Yeah.
And
M3D actually came out in better quality, didn't it?
Actually, yeah.
Or at least with less retraction.
A lot less stringing.
As
you can see here on the Printabot, and with a lower temperature, which you would think would be opposite.
Yeah.
You think it'd be more stringier with a hotter, oozier temperature, and no, it actually came out a little bit more better on the
I think
M3D.
it's because the nozzle's a 0.35 nozzle. Maybe that has something to do with it.
Yeah, and you can see the detail on this. So we used Autodesk's 123D catch to scan a clay model, actually, of this.
Yeah, an unknown artist made this clay model. Our parents purchased it at a flea market, like an outdoor flea market. You have no idea who made it. It could be like 100 million years old. We don't know. It is a really cool looking planner. So 123D catch must have been like 3 years ago that we scanned this.
Oh my God, yeah.
And Pedro took it into Mesh Mixer, cleaned it up, and where else did you? Maya too?
I did some work in Maya into it too as well, yeah.
Back before we did 123D stuff or Fusion stuff. So what I did is I brought it into Mesh Mixer, and I hollowed it out using the hollow command. So it's only a 1 millimeter thick. So and then I added a hole too. So that's a really cool thing, is to use Mesh Mixer to hollow things out, because it does such a great job at hollowing high polygon or even low polygon stuff. So that's how there's a lot of Autodesk stuff going on here. Really nice results. So again, we don't know who the artist is for this, but it's a really cool looking thing. Like these little things are like,
oh, they actually
whatever,
move, yeah, on the original.
And it actually broke. Forget who broke it, but somebody broke it, and it was nice that we were able to scan it before it got kind of destroyed.
We should actually implement that back in there, where the rings for the ears move again.
They're like little earrings, piercings.
But yeah,
cool stuff.
I think we'd have like a time lapse of this as well.
So it's like bringing it back from like ancient.
There it is.
Oh, the time lapse. I don't see
that one right there.
This one. All right, check out this time lapse, guys. So how long did this take?
I think this took about 3 hours to print.
Sounds
and
about
like
right.
I said, we're using Simplify 3D to make the paths on this. I think the only difference that we did on this versus the Play that was I didn't have my what is it, the width, the thin.
Oh, thin parameters for walls.
Yeah.
It's an option in Simplify 3D that just says if it's thin enough, only use parameters. Don't do this like janky infill stuff.
So this actually has the infill, which we thought would have had it, more stringy, but it didn't.
No, yeah, it worked really well.
So pretty cool.
So it's nice thick. Well, it's a teeny bit thicker. It's almost
it has like an
parameters.
infill in between the two parameters. On the Play, there's absolutely no infill between the two parameters. But I think I also had avoid crossing over open areas ticked
maybe
off.
That's another thing.
So that could have also played a part in
Did
that.
you have a tip here? Like, if you have some extrusion problems, take off the cover and what is it?
Oh, on the M3D where I have the cover off, yeah. So I was getting some
that.
heat creep. Looks like I didn't have the little heater block positioned properly, so you just have to push it down a little bit more.
Is that black rubber insulation piece
yeah.
for the tube?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so folks, if you have problems, I guess extruding, or heat creep is what you're calling it.
Mm-hmm.
Did you find that out just by trial and error? Did you find that in the forum, or how did that?
No, I actually noticed Zach's blog, who actually.
Oh, Zach! Shout out to Zach's blog for that one. Yeah.
So you actually put like a little tiny fan on there. Actually, the newest version of M3D FiO has the ability to control the GPIO of your Raspberry Pi, so you can add an external fan on there, and you can turn it on and off through there.
Okay.
So definitely check that out as well.
So this is sliced with Simplify 3D and sent over OctoPi?
Octoprint. The Raspberry Pi used to control the M3D.
Cool.
They also have a new version. I think it's 0.27 that was recently released, so check that out as well.
And is that a top secret, the little skin you got going on there?
You can't talk about that.
No, you just,
move on.
I just did. Sorry, buddy. All right, well, let's go ahead and talk about the next thing in Shop Talk.
Ultimaker 2 175 PTFE tube.
Teflon tube. All right, let's go into that. So, not that one. Is it this one? Nope, not that one. Okay, it's this one. Pedro, ready? And go.
Yeah, so the 175 conversion video, a lot of people were saying, oh, you got to change out the tube if you actually want it to work. Well, it took a little while to order it in from China, but it finally came in, especially since I ordered the wrong one the first time. So when it came in, as you can see there, you can go back just a little bit.
I can't, sorry.
I'll just pause it.
I can't pause it either.
No. Okay, so the length of it was just a little bit too small. You can keep going. It's okay.
Okay, cool.
So after I cut off another extra one that we had lying around from the Lulz bots, I just stuck that in there with the Olsen block so you could have a proper length to touch all the way down to the heat block there. Put the spring right on top of it because it doesn't actually fit over it, so it has to be on top. and it worked out pretty good. We printed off the rings that you see here. Actually, I used the 0.25 millimeter nozzle on that to try to get the finest detail I could on there.
Okay.
And it worked really good. I was able to do 4 millimeter retraction on there, which, if you remember from the video, that was the only caveat of not using the 175 tube, is that you have to lower your retraction. And this is what tells it all. You have the nice little teardrop shape there of the filament when it melts.
When you retract, you get this nice looking thing. You don't have to cut that off because without the Teflon tube,
expands into like a big old blob, and you're only using the 3 millimeter Teflon tube for that. So
that's awesome. So would you
get it
recommend this for folks?
If you want to use 175,
tolerances are going to vary, huh? Like you showed in with the spring, it's going to vary.
No, it should be good. Just put it right on top.
Oh, that's right.
It's going to be a tight fit, but you can get it on there. So yeah, we got this on AliExpress. Takes about like a month for it to come in.
You might as well order it.
Make sure you type in the comments that you want a 175 tube instead of the 3 millimeter
good
default
tip.
one.
Good tip.
But also again, you're gonna have to have, because the way they come in, the tube isn't long enough to fit completely all the way down into the block, as you can see there.
So you cut that?
I cut that off from a different one to make it fit. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you, Wirecast, for cooperating with me.
Yeah, you can see here the length. I cut this off from another tube that we had left over from the Taz.
Super hacker there.
Yeah.
Okay. What is all that stuff?
That's just the extruder parts.
Oh, okay. This is the Olsen block, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
So pretty cool. Got my 4.5 millimeter retraction back on the Ultimaker 2.
Yay! All right, guys. So if you have, if you want to use 175 on the Ultimaker, it is possible.
Mm-hmm. The only thing that kind of sucks about that, you don't have to do the song and dance of cutting off the little tip now, but when you don't have that, you're able to switch between 3 millimeter and 175 pretty quickly. Now I can only use 175 on that.
Oh.
So
okay.
There you go.
Oh, that's I see.
To get that retraction settings, you gotta sacrifice something, I guess.
Yeah. All right. Well, the print quality is, you think, better?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Especially with the retraction, the longer retraction you're able to do on that. So pretty
Cool.
cool. Check it out if you want to properly upgrade to 175 on the Ultimakers.
Okay. Well, I had some 3D printer upgrade, kind of, sort of. So I've been using the printer bot a lot, and my Z Probe holder is the only 3D printed part that I can see on the printer bot Play, and I managed to break it. I managed to break it because I left it heated. I left the nozzle heated overnight. So don't do that. Don't do what I did. I was gonna print something and I forgot about it, and this is what happened. My little piece broke. So this is printed in PLA, but Brooke from PrinterBot said that they are now doing it in ABS, and it's a little bit beefier. So yeah, that's it wouldn't have broke if I was just cautious and didn't leave it heating for 24 hours. So I'm glad their house didn't burn down. So that's good. Another thing that happened is even though that broke, I got a little bit of a clog issue. This is a really easy clog to alleviate though. So just 4 screws, 4 or 5 or something like that, screws, and then that little piece up there is actually hemp PLA that got stuck there. And it was just on this, the mounting, what do you call it, the mounting plate?
A little pinch.
Yeah, so it was easy to pull that out. The actual Ubis hot end is really good. It didn't have anything stuck in there. It was just the top of that, so I just couldn't get any filament in there. So that piece broke, and luckily it is on PrinterBot's Umagine profile page. Shout out to Brooke and some other folks who sent me a link to the new updated Z-Probe holder, so I was able to print that on our FlashForge. So using Simplify 3D, totally recommend using an ooze shield for these type of prints. So what was happening,
they're so small.
Yeah, that little top part there was just coming out like garbage because the
nozzle just hangs around there and melts everything because it's not traveling so much. It's such a little tight space.
Thank you. And what was I going to say about it? Also, when you're using an ooze shield, I would recommend using a pretty hefty brim so that the ooze shield, because I used one perimeter to try to save filament, make sure that it's a big brim, like 10 lines, so that it's nice and stuck to the bed, has good adhesion. So the part came out really well. I didn't use ABS. I used PLA PHA. So super easy to get it back and going. Really, really easy to take apart and put back together. Just 2 thumb screws to take off the little, what do we call it, Pedro? This thing, the guard here. I guess.
Yeah, the whole like
the shroud?
extruder
Is it shroud?
shroud guard
Okay.
thing. Yeah.
So I was able to print out 100 microns here, Pedro's NFC ring, NFC RFID ring, and I printed it with supports too, using Simplify 3D. So it came out really well. She's back to normal. Printer bought play, definitely recommend it. It's a good machine. It prints some really good detailed stuff. So here's the ring, and just to show the support material, you can use flush nips to take it out. It's a little bit more harder because this isn't PLA PHA. This is sort of regular PLA from, I think, Maker Geeks. Is it from Maker Geeks? Like red PLA for Maker Geeks. So yeah, it's a good, like, once you get your printer back and going and calibrated in, because I did have to re-level the Z probe and stuff, like readjust it using the M12 command. Everything came out really well. So yeah, I was glad to be able to bring it back up and within a day. So it broke in a couple hours. So that's another reason to have multiple printers. Instead, you can fix the other one. Also, shout out to Math Girl Laura Tallman. If you follow Math Girl on Thingiverse, or if you haven't already, check out her work. She does some incredible math art. So this is one of her knots. It's like an impossible print. Like, this is no support material. How did I print this? Chopped off a little bit of the bottom, and then I added a 10-line brim to the skirt, so to make sure the offset is set to 0, so it's like tugged onto the part. So it held on really, really good. And if you see there, Simplify wasn't able to like properly heal the STL because it wasn't like merged together on that little tip. So you can see there's a cut right there. So somehow it printed, the printer bot play printed that floating piece like magic. Incredible. Pretty good on, there's a lot of overhang here, and pretty good. And I was surprised how well stuck to the bed this brim was. And there's a lot of flex to this. I gave it a lot of force to pry it off the bed. And I'm like filming here with one hand, and I was when you aggressively rip something off the bed, you're always like, oh my God, did it break? Thankfully, it did not break, so that's pretty good here. So yeah, just trying out some different prints. I usually don't do intricate math art and stuff. It's not really that intricate, but it's pretty interesting how it kind of knots at you. So. Also, upgraded my little mounting plate, so I'm trying to finalize this design. I think it's at a good spot now where I can release it to the wild. So if you guys have a printer bot play and you want to test this out, let me know, because I'll upload it or give you the file. So this was actually printed on the printer bot itself. It's a 100 by 100 bracket because it goes across the whole bed. The trick is to just orient it at a 45 so that you can go diagonally across. You get more distance, especially with a thin object like this. So. This is just a mounting plate for the Raspberry Pi camera. You take off the 2 screws in the front of the bed, and then you just put it on, put the screws back in, and everything lines up perfectly. So I think it's pretty cool. Oh, and I'm using a super fisheye, a 235-degree fisheye lens that I got on AliExpress for like $6 because they're like $40 on other sites.
Yeah.
So I don't know. This is really cool. So printer bot play. Okay, I think that's it for Shop Talk, man.
Yeah. Oh, I think one thing we forgot to mention: Ultimaker 2 Pluses are back in stock. Literally, just got an email from Lamar. Who just
is that what you were doing? Like, I noticed you were quiet for a minute, and that was because you were making sure to check out everything. So
yeah, I gotta make sure listings.
Check out Ultimaker 2 Plus.
Yep, those will be back in stock by the time that this airs. So click on the Notify Me button if you want to. Be alerted when
by the time this is out, it should be up.
Yeah, so the 2 Pluses, of course, have the updated feeder on the back there. They have the Olsen block already pre-installed in there, so you can easily take out all of the nozzles to choose which nozzle you want to use from 0.25, 0.4, 0.6, and a 0.8 millimeter nozzle. And like we said before, it dramatically increases print times. It took
awesome.
down like a 30-hour print down to like 6 hours. The Halo sword, I think we were printing like at 4 hours. It took it down to like 20 minutes. So definitely check that out if you want a nice big build plate. And like we were saying before, you can use 175 on this. The NinjaFlex Cheetah coming out pretty soon. Of course, we're gonna stock that.
Yeah.
You can use a 3mm. I have not tried 175mm, but I doubt that'll work. We'll try it out though, but
Sure.
3mm definitely works on using Cheetah, and you can use 40mm, 50mm a second on that.
Wow.
So NinjaFlex,
Groundbreaker.
no longer a problem for Bowdens.
All right,
Check it
folks,
out.
if you want to pick up the Ultimaker 2, don't pay full price. 10% off, free shipping.
That's right. Every week we have a lovely discount code for you guys, which also includes free shipping. So
Get on that. Get that UPS truck. Okay.
all right, this week's Community Makes.
Do you want to go to that? All right. Community Makes is where we highlight some stuff that's being made by you folks. Let's go ahead and check this out. All right. There's a lot this week, folks. First up, this is from Original Self, who built the Raspberry Pi 2 game Pi Girl 2. So he said here, it just finished. I had a tough time fitting all the wires inside when closing it, but it was a satisfying project. That's awesome. I'm glad it worked out. So you have an option to cut your Pi cable in half and like trim it down. It's a little bit daunting, but I have all the steps in there, so
Definitely recommend getting 2 just in case.
yeah, I would get 2 cables just in case, just to practice this one. Okay, next one. This is the Apple TV remote bumper printed in NinjaFlex by AJPI or PL.
Actually,
on Thingiverse?
Filaflex.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, he printed in it. My first print with Filaflex, great add-on. He used his Helios. Helios. Sorry, guys. Sorry, guys at BQ. This is a RepRap style printer. He printed at 0.2 resolution with 30% infill. Yeah, this is a really easy one if you have an Apple TV remote or an Apple TV, the new one, the new style one.
Very great
really
tester
cool little thing.
for that.
Next one, this is printed in NinjaFlex on the printer bot Play. I have to try this. I have not tried any TPU or TPE.
Actually, we need
filament.
to get the new extruder mount that
I do.
has,
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try it anyway, even
You
with
should
the
try
stock,
default,
because
yeah.
he doesn't tell us here. Mr. No Ops did not tell us, but that's all right. At least he posted a photo. This looks really good. I wish I could see more of like the size and see if there's any of that sort of string.
You're gonna see in the shadows there's a little bit of the strings, but
Oh, well, that's easy to
you
clean up.
always require
You always have
cleanup
to clean
when
up.
printing.
Yeah. Okay, well that's good to see that it works on the Printabot Play. Next one, this is from Qubit01. Qubit.
Lovely remix here, I think. of
Yeah, it's the
front
Mac
panel.
Pi. So this is a Raspberry Pi. This is the old. I've been dying to remix this project because it's
Coming up
using the
soon. Or
yeah.
Coming up soon.
Yeah, because this is an outdated Pi. This is the Pi Model B, regular B, which was like one of the first Pis. And basically just remade this in OpenSCAD. So he says, I tried to make the Mac Pi front that looks more like the Mac Classic. So he used OpenSCAD here to make the parts. So check it out. I think he printed in like wood or something. Not much detail, but glad he posted the remake in the file. So that's awesome. Shout out to you, sir. This was an older project too. This is the FLI, the flare. Let me call it a flare gun. This is basically a heat map gun. It has a heat distance sensor, so it can detect heat. So what happens is it has a neopixel ring, a 24 neopixel ring, and when it's hot, it's red. When it's cold, it's blue. He said he finally got his put together, so he must have put this project off for a little bit. And it was originally just gonna be like a wand or something, but I made it into a ray gun. So this was a really cool one. I think this predates any of the 3D Hangout shows. So this is a really old one. Still a cool one.
Yeah,
though.
designed
I
in
think it's pretty cool.
123D.
Yeah,
So pretty cool.
Fortunately, unfortunately, I don't know. We didn't know if we didn't have Fusion yet, so I would totally, Fusion it up. So thank you, sir. KD7EIR on Thingiverse. Thank you for posting that. This is a nice remix. This is from Redbeard Higgins. Redbeard Higgins. He did what I wanted to do, but kind of ran out of time to do. He got so this is the Verneuil feather lamp. He got the lamp shade and then combined it with the diffuser that covers at the bottom. So it's just one full print instead of having to do 2 parts. He says I printed a glow-in-the-dark PLA filament from 3D Solutech on the FlashForge Creative Pro using Simplify 3D. Awesome. Infills at 20%, 200 microns, 80 on the print speed, 150 on the travel, 2 shells, no rafts, no support. I printed this, my mesh mixed version. I found the remixes for this project. The main differences was the shade was printed in one piece, like I was saying. Came out really nice overall. The overhangs at the top required a bit of cleanup. The screw top works really well. I haven't got the electronics yet, but I'll update this when I do. So that's awesome. So
at least it glows.
Yeah, at least it glows now, so that's great. So here's this file that he updated here. I'm going to do a thingy view real quick. And it's just basically the thing at the bottom there, so that's awesome. Relatively easy to do. I'm glad you put that together. Redbeard Higgins. And then you oriented this right side up, so it's right there. So another thing for you guys, if you're sharing stuff, make sure you're oriented, right?
I forgot to do that. Yeah,
I always forget
Let's
to
have
do that.
oh no, that's during the questions.
Sure, yeah. All right, next one is from Fat Matt number one. He also made a Raspberry Pi Pi Girl 2. This looks awesome. His wiring looks really clean. I love seeing good clean wiring with heat shrink and everything looking good. He actually really enjoyed building this. The first time using 3D printed material printed from 3D hubs. So this just shows you don't have to have a 3D printer. You can just send it out to a maker. The quality looks pretty good. So got all the pieces there. There's the whole thing fully assembled. Looks really clean, man. I'm really liking that. The screws look interesting. And he got it up and running. Here it is running Super Mario.
Very, very cool.
Good stuff. Thank you, Fat Matt. Number one. Next one, this is the Raspberry Pi Zero case from Proppy. Do you think it's Proppy on Thingiverse? Not much information at all, but at least he posted a photo of it. Always appreciate when people do that. Wow, that's interesting how that works there.
A little
super slim,
USB.
low profile USB. I like this color, man. This is a sweet looking color. I don't know what material it is, but pretty cool overall.
Looks like a very lovely sky blue.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Next one. This is so cool. Look at this.
Awesome looking Adabot here with the heart shape.
Diogar Sergio, I think, on Thingiverse. It says, Adabot finally done after some printer issues. I made a slight modification to one of them after to offer to a colleague. Overall, looks really good. I definitely agree. This looks good. He scaled it down 80%. Printed this on his Wanhao i3 rep wrap and 0.2 resolution, 200 microns on. It looks awesome, man. This is really good print.
Excellent quality there.
Yeah, love the color too. All right, thank you, sir. And another one here. This is an upgrade to your DSLR monitor enclosure, Pedro. So it looks like he says a remix of Adafruit's design. So it has a built-in DSLR mount. This is the cold shoe mount. The mount is from manufacturer's design for a flashlight or a shotgun mic mount, and he made it in Tinkercad. So he just sort of meshed the two things together to make this a little bit more easier. So that's really good to see. And I think he added a little bit of custom support there. You can see right there. A little bit of custom support with a little chamfer there. So hopefully that prints out good. So no photos of the print yet, but I think he's working on that. So that's really hoping to see that.
It's cool. He took it into Tinkercad to add the shoe mount.
That's right. Cool. All right, here's the last one, the last make. This one's from Daz C on Thingiverse, the Pi Girl 2, of course. Case printed in ABS, buttons printed in TPU. I'll update the photos when I get the build complete. And this was printed on a FlashForge Creator Pro with rafts, but no support. 200 microns, 30% infill. The buttons were printed at 100% infill. And the case surface was smoothed out using multiple layers of epoxy and sanding each layer. I love seeing post-processing on 3D printed stuff. This looks pretty good, especially with the rafts, man. That would have been like a lot of nice sanding goes into that. So hats off to you, sir, for making this lovely case. Can't wait to see the build. Cool stuff.
Very
All right, guys.
awesome
Well, I
finishing.
appreciate it so much for you posting, of course, on Thingiverse. Community Makes this week.
Very cool.
Okay. Q&A time?
Q&A. Remember, if you guys have any questions, leave them below in any of the videos, and we'll gather these guys up and answer them in a future episode.
All right, let's start off with David Clooney on last week's Hangout. Hey, guys, what are your thoughts on this issue that's happening on Thingiverse, eBay, etc.? Sad face. Important notice, check this out. Stealing 3D designs with proper CC and charging 10 times for them. So here's the thing file. maybe for next week's show news. Yes, I'm sure everybody who's watching the show has heard about the fiasco with eBay sellers called Just 3D Print. Over 2,000 designs are being IP copyright violated.
It looks like it's an automated script for some reason, because a lot of the pricing on there looks ridiculous, and it has like the same description on there. It doesn't even make sense, like with or without a Nikon on the cap, 52 millimeters, something like that. It's so weird, and the response to this is obviously comical.
Well, yeah, and it's an unfortunate thing, but this happens a lot, and Louise Draggers, who's who really spotted this one. Her Aria the Dragon, she spotted that. I think somebody brought it to her attention, but her original. So check out. We did a blog post on Adafruit, and we remixed the sad face to a little box, and basically we just sort of outlined all the articles that we could gather. There's about 5 or 6 articles about the story, 2 videos on YouTube about it. So this is really gaining a lot of traction. So what we're doing is we just wanted to do an interview with Louise, so we're working on that just to sort of spotlight her work and just to bring awareness to her and a little bit of the situation. Obviously, the situation's not blown out of proportion, but everybody in the community knows about it. She successfully got those guys to take her Aria the Dragon down, but there's still 2,000 plus models still out there. Some of our stuff is out there. Aiden brought it to my attention that our D20 is up there. Josh from Design Make Teach told me that my Deadly Hollows hollow pendant is up there. Rich Horn, his stuff is up there. A lot of designers' stuff is up there. So everybody's already kind of taking their own action, and it's really good to see that people are. A lot of other people are just like, oh, that's expected, stop fighting. And it's like, no, I really respect what Gina said. Gina, the developer of Octoprint, was like, no, keep fighting, make it loud and clear. This is all about open source.
It's all about respecting the license,
yeah, so there's just a lot of different things about it. Us personally, it's not that we don't care, it's just that our designs, you really can't do much with them unless you buy electronics from Adafruit. So it's like we kind of encourage maker folks to, of course, credit us, but also to go ahead and sell it, because that's one way to get stuff out there, and it's really nice to people attribute, but it really sucks when people don't. When people don't credit you, so people will find out and.
Yeah, anybody who tries to do this, it's a very small community, a lot of vocal people, so
yeah.
Just be aware that everybody is watching everybody else's back when it comes to this.
So that's good in the making community that people kind of got your back. So shout out to Louise Draggers. She's been super busy this past couple of days, past couple of weeks. It's just been a lot of
will
stuff.
Come out this week.
I think
like you said, it's really highlighting her because a lot of the articles that were written out there.
Some people didn't even say that was Louise. Some people thought it was a guy. Some people called Jordan. It's like, who the hell's Jordan?
So, yeah.
So, David Clooney, we're totally aware of it. You've probably seen our remix out there. But, we've been watching the situation since it unfolded. And it's unfortunate, but we're glad to sort of be able to raise awareness to the situation. So, hopefully, proper things happen. And they're happening, so. All right, I think that's about it on that one, folks.
So exhausted this one,
yeah. Yeah. Thanks, David. Next one, this one from Cool Cynic. How are you guys going to tackle audio out for the Pi Girl Zero project, USB or PWM? We're talking about this a lot with Lamar, and we're sort of coming to the conclusion that we're probably going to use USB, but if not, it's a lot easier to just leave audio out. It's going to be more cost effective too, so we might just leave audio out just to make the build a lot easier and as thin as possible, because as soon as you throw USB in there, we have to butcher all the enclosure for the USB microphone thing that we have in the shop. So we're going to keep trying, we're going to do some tests and see how thin we can get it, and if it's just too much of a pain in the butt, we're going to leave it out. So that's unfortunate, but we might have to do that just to sort of make it easier for folks.
Yeah, everybody expects a lower cost bill of material, especially with a $5 Pi. So
I want to keep it under $50.
They want all the components to be lower. Yeah.
So there you go.
Probably be about 60 if we sort of X out the audio for that.
All right, cool. All right, well, thanks for the concern there. Paul Woods is asking on Time Lapse Tuesday, the mini wrench. I love the Time Lapse. It's Tuesdays, but we share about it on a Thursday as well. Can you also add the filament type that you used in the prints? Of course. We'll start doing that with a wrench, specifically. Pedro, what is this?
Yeah, so everybody seems to like the mechanical moving parts. Here's a little tiny mini wrench. Yeah, so we use the ColorFab Next Gen filament on this actually. And yeah, we will add that going forward on the time lapses. Yep. Actually, I was about to put that in there, and last minute I totally forgot. I think it was like 1 o'clock in the morning or something.
That always happens, guys. Some details. Is it the Monday morning details? Because we do it on a Monday?
Yeah.
All right. Tom Bortels is asking, so I don't have a 3D printer or time and money to support one. I understand you aren't interested in selling the actual case for the Pi Girl due to it being most of the look-alike of the Nintendo case. Please consider making and selling a generic handheld video case so that it doesn't look like a Nintendo or a Sega or whatever. Ideally, something sturdy and injection molded designed to support a Pi. And the usual assortment of buttons, like a mini joystick and such. I think they would sell like hotcakes because I know I'd pick up a few.
So we actually have the closest thing we have already in the shop. Search Pi case or Pi Arcade.
Yeah, I just want to pull up the Pi cases real quick just to show. So we do have something. It doesn't have a bunch of buttons and things, but I think it's worth highlighting these. You may have missed these. So if you type in Pi case in the search box, you're going to see all the Pi cases that we have. This one's a cool one. This is a faceplate for the existing Raspberry Pi cases that we have in the shop. This is for the Pi TFTs. So we have an assortment of these different ones, only $5. This is for the 2.8 version. So we got the side buttons on the side there. And those go with these cases here, the ones that were designed by Mike Dole. And then if you type in Pi K, check this out. I don't know if you've seen this, but we have the two from Pi Ramoni. So the first one is just sort of a console, sort of the controller console. And the next one is like the full cabinet. And then we have this tiny, super tiny one called the Cupcake, designed by Paint Your Dragon, Phil B. And this one's awesome too. So check those out. Yeah, you got a couple options there, but 3D printing is just sort of, our favorite thing. So you do have some injection mold. This is laser cut, but actually all these are laser cut. The Mike Dole one is the one that is injection molded. Injection molded takes a lot of time, folks, a lot of money too. Yeah, so that's that one. But check those out if you haven't already, and hopefully one of those is what you're looking for. But thank you, Tom.
We are eventually going to make, probably further down in the future, injection molded one. But for now, you are going to need a 3D printer.
Alrighty.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, 3D Hubs. Go check out 3D Hubs. Ian is asking or saying, great stuff. I would like to see one with a bigger grip and see how well it works in real use. This is for the time lapse, the mini wrench. Is there a bigger wrench one? Or?
I think there's a bigger one model on Thingiverse.
We would have showed you something, but all we have is kids' toys. That would, I don't know, right?
Yeah, it'll definitely work on that.
Okay. Do you think it's strong enough to work on something?
Feels like it is. Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Feels strong enough too.
Cool. All right. Well, there you go. We'll try to try to use it sometime. All right. Nimblebolt is asking, is there a way to get softer button presses for the Pi Girl? I've discussed this a little bit on a couple other shows, and this was actually a bigger thread. A couple of you folks in the community have already answered them. So I was looking at some stuff on DigiKey, but apparently it is discontinued. But somebody said, check out eBay and Mauser. Mm-hmm. So those guys might have those rubber actuators. So if you folks find it and let me know, and we'll see if we can either get them in the shop or test them out and highlight them. Because I'm definitely, liking the rubber buttons, especially with this project here.
Better, yeah.
This is too awesome. It feels so much better. I know.
Elastomers are the way to go.
Elastomers, yeah. All right, thank you, Nimble. Next one from Scotty D on last week's Hangout. I heard you guys say that the Pi Girl, that they can run Nintendo 64. I've always had problems running those in small screens because of the resolution. If so, somebody had it working. There's got to be a trick to it. I haven't tried Nintendo 64. So if any folks can help Scotty D, let him know. Because, I think the resolution's only 320 by 240, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, 320 by 240. So, you might have some problems in there. So it is kind of limited. It's mostly for Super Nintendo, regular Nintendo, some Sega stuff, and, of course, Doom and things like that. So, All right, Scotty, if anybody can help. Andrew Bebelheimer from 3DDC on YouTube is asking a suggestion for a new segment, robotics. Answer day of the week here. I think it would be really interesting if you found someone talented who could do for robotics what Becky did for wearables and what Noe and Pedro have done for 3D printing. It could also lead to a lot of collaboration projects since robotics involves so many different fields. That or giving Colin his own segment, maybe Music Mondays. That would be awesome too. Yeah, so PT has talked about this. He's voiced this before. Like, guys, if you want to get a job at Adafruit or you want to write some tutorials for the Adafruit learning system, the best way to do that is to document your work, post it up on Instructables or Adafruit or Hackaday, Hack.io, and then come on the Adafruit show and tell. That's how a lot of our remote folks got a job at Adafruit.
That's how we got our job.
So we got our job. Tony D, that's how he got his job. That's how the Cooper brothers got a job, who runs all the Adafruit I/O stuff and the Adafruit learning system. That's how Phil B got his job. A lot of our remote folks got a job that way. So the best way to do that is just to, again, make projects, share them on the sites, show them to Lamar and Phil.
Come on the show and tell.
Uses this, guys, the show and tell is a way to recruit people. It's all about consistency. So if you can prove that you can kind of do this either on a monthly or weekly basis, they will pay you to do a tutorial for the Adafruit learning system if they like it. So I guess that's all we don't have any robotics people right now. So yeah, Tony's done a couple robotics at the Pi. But yeah, that is something that would be really cool. We agree. And Colin needs his own show. It's like he's got Colin's app. So.
Yeah, those take a little bit of while to do. I mean,
can't rush
scripts,
art, guys. Yeah.
doing shooting, lighting things.
Yeah.
That stuff is pretty hard.
Yeah. That's why the life stuff's working out too. Dolphin is asking, what would you say is easier to use, FDM or SLA printing?
Definitely FDM printing. You don't have to put a whole suit on. You don't have to put like
hazmat suit.
You don't have to put like gloves on to handle your print when it comes off the bed. FDM, you can just touch it, grab it right off the bed once it's finished. So
it is certainly easier.
Quite a workflow for
what's more reliable?
Resin. They've been both reliable now.
Yeah.
So yeah, it just depends on what you need for your projects.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. That's it. That's all the questions. Yay! Thank you guys so much for your questions. If you guys want to ask questions or any comments, you know where to do so in the YouTube videos. Gather them up for the weekly stuff. Yeah. All right. I think that's it for the show, man.
Yeah, we'll leave you guys off with some links. And of course, discount code for this week, RING. Use
ring.
Check out.
All righty.
Get 10% off. Free shipping.
Adafruit Learning System, guys, there's like a guide every single week. There's new stuff from a lot of the remote folks and a lot of guest people too. So check that out. Learn at adafruit.com and check out the blog so you can see a lot of different projects that are being made from folks in the communities. You can follow me and Pedro on Adafruit, Ekin, VideoPixel.
Yeah, we'll take questions, of course, on Instagram as well.
Yeah.
So ask that on. Well, we run the Adafruit account for Instagram as well. So just ask away on any of those channels, and we'll gather those up as well. Okay.
So every Wednesday, guys, that's when all the shows happen. We talk about the show and tell. That happens every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Shortly after, followed by Ask an Engineer with Lamar and Phil. It's 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Open source, Raspberry Pi, Arduino, new products, and much more.
Secret stuff that they're working on. So
always good stuff there.
Always want to tune in for that.
Tony D's after that.
Fridays, Saturdays.
Fridays? Yeah.
He's trying to do every Friday now.
Yeah, he's got his
diving code lessons with Tony D. So definitely check that out on Twitch.
Yeah, it's on Twitch. So be sure to follow Adafruit on Twitch. It's just twitch.tv/Adafruit. So be sure to subscribe to the channel there so that you get an email or whatever you set up to get notified when Tony goes live. And also, after that, Lady Ada, Lamar just did her last, not her last Desk of Lady Ada, but her last Raspberry Pi Zero series where you could win a Raspberry Pi Zero for ideating a Pi project. So be sure to check out I guess
the playlist for that.
Yeah, check out the playlist. You can have all the links and stuff on there.
And definitely check out Hackaday to get all the rules and enter in on the contest, which will spill over into the 2006 Hackaday challenge. So
yeah, win a pie, win store credit to buy more electronics and stuff. Good stuff all around, folks. So, and then Lady Ada, the desk of Lady Ada, just happens every other.
This is periodically throughout the week, so about 4 or 5
unscheduled, raw, unscripted.
Yeah, about 4 or 5 streams a week.
Cam.
Usually around 10 p.m., 11 p.m., sometimes 12.
Yeah, sometimes late. So maybe it's gonna happen soon.
They are always working. Yeah, so definitely
good stuff.
Subscribe, tune into that.
All right, guys. So that's gonna be it for us. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys want to support the show, you know how to do so. We're funded by you guys. Bootstrapped. Is it bootstrapped? You okay?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, well, that's it, folks. We got to go. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.